Welcome back to another episode of Clash with Doomz. We are about a week into the new update now, and I want to know what, in your opinion, is the best part of this summer update. Is it the new Dragon Riders, or the new levels for Dragons, Balloons, and E-Dragons? Or, if you're like myself, is it the new Rocket Balloons? Today I'm going to tell you what, in my opinion, are the best ways to use the Rocket Balloons, including their strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully you can use this information to start taking rocket balloons into some of your favorite attack strategies. So first off, let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the rocket balloons. You probably already knew this one, but they are very fast on deployment. Now there are a few pros that go along with that, including the fact that you can save your haste spells or rage spells until after that speed runs out, and you can also outrun air bombs for a certain amount of time. The speed burst also allows you to take out select buildings when you have something tanking for them. Another strength worth noting is that they deal more damage than a normal balloon when destroyed. Now obviously these additional strengths come at a cost, and that cost mainly is the additional housing space that it costs to train these, and that housing space is 8 versus the normal 5 for a normal balloon. Now, what that means is you just need to make your rocket balloons count. And another weakness worth noting is that they still have the same hit points as a normal balloon, so they will get one shot by black air mines. Alright, so those are the notable strengths and weaknesses of the rocket balloons. Now, let's talk about the different ways you can use them and use them effectively. One of the best ways to use the rocket balloons is to send them in on select defenses for funneling, or to help take out specific defenses. So for example, with this one, I had my dragons coming in from the upper side here, and you can see I sent a rocket balloon directly in onto that sweeper, and that took that out no problem. And then you can also see I saved some rocket balloons for the back end of the attack, so once a tank was in front of the air defense, that the rocket balloons could come in, take out the rest of the defenses no problem. And that is one of the ways you can use these rocket balloons. You can also use the rocket balloons as a substitute for the hound when trying to seek out black air mines for sending in something like the blizzard. You can see a rocket balloon made it in onto the air defense and also pulled that black air mine, which allowed the blimp to push into the town hall. You may have noticed at the end of the last clip that I was trying out rocket balloons in the blimp, trying to replicate something along the lines of a blizzard, but what I found is that sending in rocket balloons in a blimp with rage spells or haste spells or the clone spell will never get you the same value that the blizzard gets or the E-Dragon with the clone spell gets. However, I was determined to make taking rocket balloons in my CC worth it, so I did end up taking the rocket balloons in a wall wrecker and a log launcher to see how well that worked, and it actually worked pretty well. Alright, so with this one here, we sent in our heroes with the wall wrecker, trying to push our Barb King and Archer Queen into the core of the base so we can take out a good portion of it. Those rocket balloons come out of the log launcher and they have that boost, and they're actually able to take out that single target Inferno and a few other defenses there. I was anticipating the rocket balloons to path towards the town hall, but instead they went down towards this patch of defenses over here. But you can see they're doing their job pretty well here. They're taking out a lot of different defenses. Now at this point, we've cleared out a portion of the base so that the rest of our LALO attack can just come right on through. But yeah, you can see the value I got from taking those rocket balloons. Do take this with a grain of salt because this was kind of a dead base. If you notice at the start, there was 1 million of each loot available for the taking, and I couldn't really pass that up, and you'll notice that with a few of my attacks, but I do promise that in the next CWL I will be trying out the rocket balloons on some higher level bases and sharing that with you guys. So now let's actually look at what an army looks like with the rocket balloons implemented successfully. At the bottom of the screen here, you can see I have 20 balloons, 6 rocket balloons, and 3 lava hounds, along with some cleanup and also some wall breakers to help get our king and queen into the base and take out a good quadrant of the base. I decided to take only 6 rocket balloons because I do believe that overstacking rocket balloons is not a good idea. They do still get one shot by the black air mines, so I think taking them in kind of as a bonus troop to try and get as much value as possible is your best option. Now, an Inferno Tower was upgrading with this base, so we kind of got off easy there. I came in with 3 lightning on this air defense and 3 lightning on this one, and you can see my Barb King is placed on this gold mine over here with full intention that he is going to walk towards this bottom section of the base and path into the core, but you can see that did not happen. But fortunately we were able to recover with those super wall breakers that we brought along, and our Barb King ended up going into the base, and our Queen also went in over here towards this expo. You can see the log launcher is getting pretty good value for us. It's weakening that Eagle artillery down to basically one shot, and we have balloons with an E-drag come out of the CC. This was before I started testing the rocket balloons, and I think actually the rocket balloons here would have done a really nice job at taking out that single target Inferno, and you can see I wasn't able to do that with this one here. Alright, so at this point of the attack, when your heroes are in the core of the base, they're about to die, your CC troops have come out, you need to start to come in with the rest of your attack. And you can see I started off with 2 rocket balloons coming in on this cannon and mortar, and I thought that was a good idea because the rocket balloons could get in there quickly and take out those defenses, so I could start to come through the rest of my base with the main push of my normal balloons. So I only used 2 rocket balloons over here and another one right up there. You can see there's that black air mine. You gotta be careful of those black air mines when you're coming in with your rocket balloons first. Now that I have the funnel set up to go straight through this small section of the base, I come in with the rest of my balloons with the lava hounds kind of coming in the front to try and take on most of the heavy damage. And then you will also see I drop my warden in with those balloons. And something I've noticed is you want to drop your haste spells as soon as possible. Try and get those balloons pushing through those heavy DPS areas, and don't forget to use your warden ability at the right time. Try to time it so that it's tanking some damage from the town hall, but also you need to be aware of that explosion that happens when the town hall destroys. It will one-shot your balloons, so just keep that in mind. And then we also had a few rocket balloons come into the back end of the attack, take out the last few defenses, and then you can see this was a lightning fast attack. It only took us, I think, 1 minute and 30 seconds to get the 3-star. So using the rocket balloons as a substitute for a few of the balloons in a normal LALO attack is by far my favorite way to bring the rocket balloons into an army, but do some testing with normal dragon armies and some E-dragon armies, and I did find some success there as well. But again, I was coming up against really easy bases, so I'm not going to show off too many of these replays, but feel free to pause the video and copy down any of these armies if you're interested in giving them a try. There are some failed attacks here, but that's kind of my own fault. I was not playing very well yesterday. Now, I have one more replay to share with you guys, and it is another LALO army, except for with this one, we only took rocket balloons, and you can see we only had 2 lava hounds. And the idea behind that was that the rocket balloons take so much housing space that I figured taking 1 less hound, because those rocket balloons can get into the base faster and those hounds don't have to tank for as long, is worth it. So yeah, I sent in a hound from this one side with 3 pairs of rocket balloons to take out these air defenses, and then another hound came in from up here to try and bait out some seeking air mines. And you can see I didn't deploy all of my rocket balloons at the same time, I tried to send them in like 2 at a time, so they were getting a lot of the value from the initial speed. But yeah, I was able to get the 3-star here, but I'm not sure if it was just because the low levels of defenses. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below of what you think of this army. I would say that it's better with the normal balloons, but I do want to know your opinions and what you guys have noticed. I was hoping to keep this video kind of short, but it turns out that there is a lot of information to take in with the rocket balloons and a lot of niche things to keep in mind when you're using them with your armies. But hopefully you were able to learn something from this video, and if you were, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. I'd just like to remind you that 71% of you guys are not subscribed. Please consider doing that. It is free and takes no time at all. If you've made it this far into the video, I have one last tip for you, and it is haste spells and rage spells do not give movement speed to rocket balloons when they have that initial boost. So keep that in mind when you're using these rocket balloons. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the rest of your day is great, and until next time, clash on.